Welcome to your quarterfinals, chefs. This is another invention test for you.
In front of you, you have bone marrow, chicken thighs, oysters, whelks, some goat. I don't know if some of you have cooked that before, but be careful if you haven't. You also have mangoes, white chocolate, dates, macadamia nuts, along with some other larder ingredients. Up to you to choose. Give me that dish that's going to propel you into the next round. 2 of you will be leaving us. We're only looking for perfection, that's all. We're going to give you 10 minutes to get your head around this. It starts now.
Just trying to take it all in.
It'll be a work in progress, I'm sure, but I have an idea.
I've never used cook before and I'm going to use it. Why not?
Right, 1 hour to cook the perfect plate of food. Off you go.
Jack, there's something about this young chef. His attitude and his enthusiasm in the kitchen.
He runs around, but he delivers. That bourride that he cooked for me was delicious. I just hope today he can rise to the occasion.
You can't go into a situation like this and be relaxed about what you're going to do. You need to be fired up. And I need to use my nerves to my advantage, not my disadvantage.
Right, Jack, what are you making for us?
I'm making a gnocchi coated with celeriac cream, chicken thigh stuffed with some dates and an alcohol mix, and I'm thinking of making a butter with the bone marrow and some macadamia nuts.
Is this something that you've done before?
No, never before. I don't want to play it safe because you don't get anywhere playing it safe. But I hope I can keep a lid on the pressure, on the nerves, and show you what I can do.
Great. Jack's bouncing around in the kitchen as usual, and he has got a great menu. Chicken thighs stuffed with dates. He's using the bone marrow with the macadamia nuts to put on top.
He's also making a gnocchi, which he's going to serve with creamy celeriac sauce. Sounds absolutely divine. I'm looking forward to this.
Patrick can cook. However, there's always a little mistake creeping into his plates of food. And his approach to the presentation is a bit scattered.
I'm yet to be convinced by Patrick. He served me a raw sausage.
Got away with some silly mistakes so far, but with each round going by, you get a little bit more confident, less nervous.
What are you making for us here, Patrick?
I'm cooking chicken stuffed with bone marrow, salt-baked celeriac, roast garlic puree, and wilted spinach.
What about your presentation?
Less scattered, neater. Most importantly, I've got to show you today that I can cook a bit of meat.
I heard about the sausage episode.
Yep.
She's still talking about it.
Yeah. Terrible.
Well, I'm expecting good things from you today, Patrick.
All right. Thank you.
Patrick has taken the chicken thighs and he's stuffed them with the bone marrow and the Parmesan cheese. I'm a little bit worried about that because bone marrow melts very easily and we may end up without any stuffing whatsoever.
I'd be happy if he serves me something that's cooked all the way through.
He's certainly going to have to impress you, isn't it?
It's do or die.
That's 30 minutes gone. Adam cooked the most beautiful plate of venison last time for me. Oh, you'd have been happy, I tell you.
He's got talent. This is a chef that I'm watching and I think could even go all the way.
Can't afford to have a bad round, though.
I didn't really imagine it to go so well at all. I'm becoming crazy more competitive. I want to stay in and win this competition pretty damn bad.
Adam, what are you making for us?
I'm actually doing something I've not done before. I've eaten goat before, but I've never cooked it. And I'm doing that with confit celeriac and deep-fried bone marrow and I'm going to do a croûte of tomato.
Do you think it's time to take a risk like this, using a meat that you've never cooked before?
Yeah. Keep showing that I'm versatile and that I can do other things. That's what it's all about. Land on your feet.
Adam is focused. He means business. But he's never cooked with goat before. Now that is a risk. He's vacuum packed it and put it in the water bath. Just hope he crisps it up a bit to give it a bit more flavour, because kid goat can be a little bit bland.
But it all sounds good. It's got great elements, marrow, celeriac. Every time he's delivered, so it scares me that the next test he might trip up, and I don't want that to happen. I expect good things from him every time. Ooh, Nick, I wasn't convinced by his sausage 3 ways. Saying that, he did well on the skills test.
Well, he has got the experience, Monica, and he's the eldest one of the 6 today. I hope we get dessert from Nick, because he's shown that he can do pastry.
If he doesn't perform well today, he'll definitely be in trouble.
I definitely have something to prove to Monica. I came here to do well, and, you know, going out at this stage is not enough for me.
All right, Nick.
Very good, thank you.
I saw you earlier when you looked at the ingredients, you were shaking your head and you looked a bit baffled.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ingredients I haven't really worked with. The goat, I took your advice when you said if you've not cooked it before, be careful. So I've decided to go down the dessert route. I'm going to make a millefeuille of mango with some chilli and lime for it, and also white chocolate mousse and a sweet basil pesto on the side.
Pastry route again. You're going to achieve the same standard?
Yeah, hopefully, if not better.
Definitely sounds better than sausages, doesn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
I'm expecting a great dessert from this chef because he's confident cooking in pastry.
You and I love mango with a touch of chilli in. A white chocolate mousse, yes. If he gets this right, ooh, he's in.
Adam, another chef who's got something to prove for me today.
He's got palate, but sometimes style over substance. Just needs to bring it all together.
I'm not usually competitive in my normal life, but I do feel like there's a streak now coming out in me. I am feeling a lot more confident and a lot more take no prisoners kind of attitude. I really want to push it and win.
Right, Adam, what are you making for us?
I'm going to make some oysters poached in a Beaumonte, some whelks in a bone marrow sauce, and some anchovy alumettes. I'm going to stand them up, cut them into little triangles.
Can you make more than one element?
I've made 6 of those.
I'll have 5. Well, I'm curious, how are you making a whelk sauce?
I used some fat from the bone marrow instead of oil. I've melted it by accident before, so I thought I'd try and melt it on purpose this time.
I love the idea of it's adding flavour.
I just really want to just prove that that I'm as good as I'd like to sort of think I am, maybe.
Adam's dish sounds great.
I love the fact that he's making these little anchovy alumettes or little anchovy toast.
And I like that he's making a sauce using the whelks.
Oh, heaven. I just hope that there's enough acidity, just a little squeeze of lemon juice in that sauce to bring this dish together.
15 minutes left.
Alex from Aberdeen is undoubtedly a good chef, but she needs to up her game and she really needs to put her marker down.
The amount of pressure that you're under to produce an excellent dish is daunting, it really is. I can only just strive to go further and hopefully go through to the final.
Alex, you're looking a bit hot and flustered.
I've got a lot of work to do.
Tell us, what's going on then?
I have done anchovy and thyme garlic stuffed chicken thigh.
So using the anchovy almost as a seasoning?
Yes.
But be careful how much anchovy you put in there, though.
Yes. Yeah. And I've got a tomato compote with parmesan mash and roasted bone marrow. So slightly Mediterranean, mixed with a little bit of Scottish modern cooking.
Mediterranean meets Scottish modern. Now that's one car crash, isn't it?
Oh, hopefully not, no. We'll see today.
Confident?
Yes, I am.
A little bit worried about Alex. This idea of modern Scottish meeting Mediterranean. Ooh. Two minutes. Time's up. Finished.
First up is chef de partie, Adam. He's chosen to use the winkles, cooked in bone marrow alongside butter-poached oysters, salted anchovy allumettes, pomme puree, and a spinach froth.
Adam, I like the presentation, but I have reservations. There's a lot of anchovy allumette there. It should be in balance with the dish. There is a bit of a meatiness to the sauce and richness as well from the bone marrow. Most of all, I like the fact that you have taken great care in cooking the oyster and the whelks. But lacking a hint of acidity for me. Something to give it a zest. And the anchovy allumettes are not quite cooked enough. Instead of being crunchy and crisp, it's gooey and soft, which is a shame.
You've done the shellfish justice. It's not quite there, though.
It wasn't great, and it needs to be great at this point. And that's kind of unnerving me slightly at the moment.
Jack, a 21-year-old chef de partie, has chosen the chicken thighs and stuffed them with dates in a red wine sauce. They're served with potato gnocchi in a celeriac and parmesan cream and topped with a bone marrow and macadamia nut butter.
Presentation-wise, Jack, it's one-dimensional. It looks just creamy.
Jack, I really like your chicken and the flavours from the dates and the alcohol through that. It's the star of the dish. I think for your gnocchi, you could have pan-fried it to give it a nicer texture and more of a caramelised flavour.
It's not very often this happens. I'm going to disagree with her. I don't particularly like the chicken. I find the dates a little bit too sweet. But I actually really like the gnocchi that haven't been pan-fried in the cream sauce. I'll tell you what, you have the chicken with the sweet dates in, I'll have the cheesy gnocchi.
Sold.
They were divided with what they liked and what they didn't like. It's making me feel a bit nervous. I just hope I've done enough.
Sous chef Alex has also used the chicken thighs, which he has stuffed with anchovies and garlic. They're served with a parmesan mash, roasted bone marrow, and a tomato compote.
Alex, it's not doing it for me. It really isn't. It's missing a bit of colour. And no sauce either.
Alex, I like the marrow and your tomato compote which you have underneath, but unfortunately the whole dish has been destroyed by the amount of anchovy that's in this chicken.
Ah, dearie me. The anchovies we gave you were packed in salt. I don't know if you rinsed the anchovy before you used it, but that's what you should do. And there's a heck of a lot of garlic in there. It's those two very strong flavours fighting with the chicken thigh. Sadly, the chicken thigh is the loser.
I'm kicking myself. I did what I did and I can't change that now, so I've just got to take the consequences.
Head chef Nick is the only chef to make a dessert. A mango chili and lime mille-feuille with a white chocolate mousse and sweet basil pesto, topped with deep-fried basil and candied macadamia nuts.
Mick, the mille-feuille, it could have been a bit neater, and your chocolate mousse is a little bit too big. Yeah.
I like the crunch from the pastry, the mille-feuille and the mango. Not enough chili.
It's not hitting quite the right notes for me. The white chocolate mousse is very, very rich. The pesto, I'm not really blown over by it. I don't think it's adding anything to this dish. Maybe a little coulis or a lime syrup would have really brought this thing together.
I did make a coulis, but I didn't get it on the plate in time.
Ah! Not quite there.
Clearly feeling deflated. I'm on thin ice. So it's a wait and see job.
Sous chef Patrick has made chicken Kiev, using garlic and bone marrow for the stuffing and chicken skin for the crust. It's served with celeriac fondants, topped with a potato crust, roast garlic puree, wilted spinach, and a celeriac veloute.
Patrick, this is a total change to your scattered approach of presentation, and I'm not bowled over with this presentation either. It's not the neatest plate of food I've seen.
I'm wondering if this chicken has been cooked well enough on the inside as well, because it's looking very pink.
Your chicken is pink, but it is cooked. You get the bone marrow going through it. I do find it, however, bland. It's lacking in seasoning. Really, really is.
I think the cream sauce is also very bland, needs more of oomph to it. I do like the celeriac with the crumble on top, but nothing really wows me.
It wasn't seasoned enough. And I'd always said if I went out of the competition because I'd made silly mistakes or whatever, I would be really annoyed about it, and there's a good chance that's going to happen.
Head chef Adam has chosen to use the kid meat. It's served with a bone marrow crisp, spinach and basil, a parmesan puff croûte, and a chicken and red wine sauce.
Adam, that is a very nice plate. Very, very neat. It's elegant. It screams out class.
I like the fact that you've used the kid and cooked it correctly, even though you've never cooked one before. The chopped up spinach and basil, which you have on here, it's great, it's refreshing. And I love the deep fried bone marrow. I could easily have a bowl of that.
That puff pastry strip is quite simply delicious, and a sauce that's actually damn good. That is cooking that you should be really proud of.
Thank you very much. I work damn hard to get comments like that. Feel tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Wow. Now that was an interesting one, Monica, wasn't it? One outstanding plate. Adam through.
Without a doubt, Adam is through.
If Adam shone, I think Alex had a bad day. The bone marrow with this spicy tomato compote actually worked very well. But I'm afraid that is just not enough.
She's out of her league.
I know that I could do better, but it didn't show through today. My gut feeling is that I'll be going.
Alex is leaving the competition.
Definitely.
What do you say about Jack? You liked the stuffed chicken? I didn't. I liked the creamy, cheesy gnocchi. You didn't.
I like what I see in this young chef.
I feel a bit nervous, but I'm sure they can take what I've done before, and that will be enough to get me through to the next round.
I think we should put Jack through.
So do I.
What do you think of Adam, then, and those oysters and whelks?
He cooked that shellfish well, didn't he? It's a shame the puff pastry, a bit raw in the middle, but there's something in this kid, and I think he's another one that deserves another chance.
I think I've done enough to stay on, but I don't know.
OK, we agree. Put Jack through and the two Adams. That leaves us with Nick and Patrick.
Patrick, I mean, he couldn't cook a sausage for me within an hour, and this chicken was only just cooked.
But I love the concept of the dish, using the bone marrow instead of butter in a chicken Kiev. Great idea. But it didn't work. No seasoning.
I've really gutted if I go home now to know that I didn't perform the I can. That's the most disappointing thing, and I'll always going to regret it.
With Nick, he made me a plate I wasn't all that convinced with, sausages 3 ways, so I wanted an amazing dessert from him today.
It didn't work because there was not enough of the chilli, not enough of the lime syrup. There were errors. But I've seen him work before. I know he can deliver goods. He's a good chef.
I think even the smallest error is enough to send you out of the competition at this stage. It's tough.
We have to base our decision on how far we think a chef can go. And will they be able to impress the critics in the next round? Thank you, chefs. Highs and lows.
The first chef that is leaving us today is Alex.
Obviously, I'm a bit gutted, but the experience has been phenomenal. Now I can use the constructive criticism that I've received and just push on and make it positive.
Second chef leaving us today is Patrick.
Just so disappointed. I'm most disappointed about putting up a poor dish, really, and I really didn't want to go to the competition that night.
Congratulations, guys. Well done. Critics next. No nerves, no faults.
You have just 1 hour and 15 minutes to do 2 courses.
Off you go. Food critics, by their very nature, find fault. They'll dissect each plate of food and they will look for that little error.
If they get this right, these critics are going to be looking out for them in the future. What more can a young chef want?
In no way I think my dishes are safe. It could totally bomb and they hate it. But I've got to take some risks to try and progress in this competition.
Jack, what have you got on your menu for us?
Today for the main course I'm doing sole fillets, which are going to be poached in like an onion seed and saffron fish stock with some chive mash and a leek which is covered in leek char, topped with some queenie scallops and brown shrimp. And then for dessert is rhubarb, so it's rhubarb meringue, rhubarb jam, dehydrated rhubarb, freeze-dried rhubarb, poached rhubarb, rhubarb.
So is there going to be rhubarb in your dessert?
Just a touch. I just need to work as if I'm on fire.
Well, we're used to seeing that.
Let's hope we don't have to put you out.
Yes, let's.
You sure you've got enough time to do all that?
If I work very quickly and don't have any interruptions, I'm sure I'll be able to get it done in time.
Is that a polite way of telling us to shove off?
I need to get things done, yes, chef. Thank you.
What an unbelievable menu. I got lost. It was so many ingredients being thrown at it and so many processes. Jack's poaching his sole in onion seed and saffron stock. You've got to be careful because that's quite strong. It could overpower the delicate flavour of the sole.
Love poached fish. You've got to make sure the temperature is even and not too hot. Otherwise, it's going to be overdone and can actually make the fish tough.
His dessert is rhubarb with rhubarb and more rhubarb. I hope he doesn't go too modern and too crazy.
Critics are notoriously difficult to cook for. There's so much to prove. Hopefully they're open to a little bit of invention today. In terms of flavour combinations, it's a little bit risky. Today I'm going to do fillet of sea bass, sea fennel puree, mussels and vanilla and spinach.
Did I hear you say vanilla?
Mussels and vanilla, one of my favourite combinations.
Really?
Really?
I've had lobster with a vanilla beurre blanc, which I think works. I'm looking forward to this.
You like it, yeah.
Dessert?
Dessert, I'm doing a muscovado cheesecake, so using the muscovado sugar to get a little toffee flavour, light toffee flavour, with roasted plums with a bit of anise for it, and then a tarragon anglaise.
Tarragon anglaise. Again, combinations I haven't tried before.
It's like a little bit different, but I've sort of tried to listen to what you said in the last rounds, keep it simple and get the right balance of the elements.
You want your place in the next round, don't you?
More than anything.
It's there for the taking, Nick.
I'm ready.
Next menu sounds very straightforward. Sea bass with fennel, creamed mussels. Then in comes the vanilla.
It can work, but it's a very fine line between working and a disaster for me. For dessert, it's preparing a cheesecake flavoured with muscovado sugar. I love muscovado sugar. It's got that aniseedy, nutty taste. Serving with it some roasted plums and a custard or a crème anglaise flavoured with tarragon. Tarragon has got that aniseed taste, which I think could work really well with the muscovado sugar and the plums. Oh, faster. 30 minutes to go for those main courses.
I'm a chef who likes to take risks, and I think that's where I kind of excel in the kitchen. And I think I can pull off something quite special at the end of it.
Right, Adam. How are you feeling about cooking for critics?
I'm pretty nervous, to be honest, chef. A bit of a J. Rayner fan.
Well, lucky for you, Jay's waiting to try your food today. Great.
What's going to impress Jay Rayner, then?
I'm going to do a lamb cannon roasted in hay with couscous made from cauliflower, fresh peas and girolles, and a viju and whole grain mustard vinaigrette.
This is your style of food, then?
Yeah, absolute classic British kind of comfort dishes in a way, and then just given a slight twist. That's what defines me as a chef, I think.
What are you making for dessert, then?
I'm going to do a lemon tart with an Earl Grey kind of foam sauce thing and honeyed mascarpone. Just got to make sure I can absolutely just pull it off.
Good.
Adam is taking what he would call normal British dishes and putting his own twist on it. Lamb with couscous, but he's making his couscous with the cauliflower. Some crispy potato strings, and he's roasting his lamb in hay.
Infusing it with the flavours or the scents of the meadow. Or at least that's the theory. He's not saucing the lamb, he's making a vinaigrette with verjus, which is soured grape juice. Great touch. Adam is preparing a lemon tart, but a lemon tart with a difference. He's got mascarpone cream going with it and an Earl Grey foam.
I hope it pays off today and it's not going to be too quirky for the sake of the critics.
15 minutes to go, chefs.
I'm terribly nervous about the dessert. It takes like 4 hours to do it, and I'm cramming it with the main course in an hour and 15 minutes.
It's a stressful little thing, isn't it?
I've practiced and practiced. I need to keep my socks pulled right up and just pull my finger out.
I'm doing lamb and courgette with a little bit of mashed potato. I'm using a lot of basil, courgette flour, as well as normal courgettes. I'm going to stuff the courgette flowers with honey and goat's cheese. It's just good, honest cooking. And chocolate orange for dessert.
Sounds simple.
No, it's not at all. It's a dish where all flaws were going to show up.
Do you ever get flustered?
I'm flustered now.
You're flustered now?
Yes. I've got 4 eager eyes staring at me, watch my every move.
Adam is cooking a loin of lamb with a red wine jus, a courgette and basil puree, mashed potato, and a courgette flour stuffed with goat's cheese and honey. All sounds good fun.
I like the sounds of the goat's cheese and honey put into that crispy courgette flour. Looking forward to trying this.
Knowing Adam, there'll be a few twists and turns on this dessert of chocolate orange. He's got some orange oil there. You better go easy on it, because that is intense.
To top it off, my personal favourite, salted caramel. Let's hope he gets the balance right here, because there's a lot of strong flavours going on dessert.
We want Adam to please the critics as much as he's pleased us.
Anybody who enters a competition like this reckons themselves. Well, if they really think that, they better prove it to me here in this dining room.
These chefs, I think there's a danger when they're cooking for the restaurant critics that they feel they need to show us everything that they know in one dish, powders and foams, but it isn't necessarily what we want to see here in this room.
I'm looking for a bit of originality. I'm looking for a little bit of spark. And I also want to see things delivered that are promised on the menu.
I like what I'm seeing here, Jack. Everything is coming together on time. Brilliant.
Yes, chef.
Jack's main course is saffron and onion seed poached sole with charred leek and chive mash. So it sounds quite simple, but it's very easy to overcook fish.
I like the taste of leek. I don't really like the taste of char very much, so I hope the balance between his char and his leek is okay.
That smells good, huh? Right,
creamy mash. Keep it going.
Ready, chef.
Fantastic, well done.
So we have poached sole in a saffron and onion seed stock, charred leek, queenie scallops with brown shrimp, and a chive mash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really like the look of this. I think it's very pretty.
It's an attractive plateful, but I've got fish envy. I've got a tiny little bit of sole here, which is sort of folded over and died on itself. Something's missing, and that's flavour. The chive mash isn't chivey enough, the saffron sauce isn't saffrony enough.
And the poaching the fish in saffron doesn't seem to have left it with any real distinctive flavour. Slightly overcooked as well, isn't it? It's mealy.
The leeks are undercooked, and the ash to me is just actually nasty. Overall, it's a plate that won't linger in the memory for very long.
It's a bit of a sigh rather than a shout.
The little queenie scallops are really nice, and the little shrimps as well. But the leeks are practically raw, and the sole is very, very overcooked.
It's a real shame. I was expecting a lot from Jack today.
Nearly there, Jack?
Yes, chef.
Jack's dessert is the scariest thing on MasterChef. One word. It just says rhubarb. Who knows? He could be building the Eiffel Tower out of rhubarb.
My instinct is you're a liar. You are not going to serve us rhubarb. You're going to serve us rhubarb as complicated as you can serve it, because if you just served us rhubarb, it would be terrible.
2 minutes there, Jack. You'll be all right?
Yes, chef.
Good.
There is a rhubarb meringue in the centre with poached rhubarb, a rhubarb jam, freeze-dried rhubarb, and dehydrated rhubarb.
OK, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we knew it wasn't just going to be a lump of rhubarb on a plate, was it? But actually, rhubarb meringue, I kind of like the idea of that. This fails a basic dessert test, which is lusciousness. In the middle, you've got this Italian meringue, which is type 2 diabetes sweet. My pancreas is about to give up.
You've got these kind of rubbery bits of freeze-dried rhubarb, which stick in the teeth like a kind of nasty, cheap sweet. And you've got the rhubarb, which is, raw, inedible.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because he described his dessert as though he was going to sort of reveal to us the innermost nature of rhubarb. And in fact, none of it really tastes very much of rhubarb. It's not good enough, really, at this level, is it?
It's a dish labelled rhubarb. So where's all the rhubarb? I'm disappointed, really disappointed.
My heart's racing at the moment after doing that. There was a couple of things that I could have done better, so I'm a bit nervous about what they think. But I was happy with it, so I hope they are.
I feel with Adam's main course, English lamb, cauliflower and lemon thyme, peas, rolls, roast potato and verjus. That's Sunday lunch.
If he's as straight and as honest as his menu description, we could be in for a treat.
Oh, we've got potato. Ooh, maybe not. Keep it going, because you're a little bit late. Come on. Okey doke.
Right, ready. Good afternoon. Got a rump of lamb roasted in hay with cauliflower couscous, cauliflower puree, peas and flowers, girolles, and a vinaigrette made out of verjus.
And the roast potatoes?
I burnt the roast potatoes, I'm afraid. I do apologise.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
If you were hoping for a sort of Sunday lunch thing, you'd be bitterly disappointed. No roast potatoes, and instead, flowers. And that's not going to fill you up, is it?
This guy knows what he's doing. This is good. There is a bit of a problem with the lamb being slightly flavourless because it's lost its fat, but that vegeau is just making the whole plate come alive. It's a lovely plateful.
It's a beautiful piece of lamb, really well cooked. The peas are a wonderful example to all chefs out there, how to not to overcook your peas. You know, he seems to be able to cook quite well.
It could have been that touch towards brilliance if the fat had been left on and crisped, and I would have liked a little roast potato. Just one.
That lamb, it's not enough for that hay coming through, but I like the mustard dressing as it really does bring something to this dish.
I do like his cauliflower puree as well. The flavours are nice. I really like the flavour. It's good cooking, yeah.
Adam's dessert, lemon tart, honeyed mascarpone and Earl Grey.
I crave the moment when somebody just does the best lemon tart you've ever had. Crisp pastry and a very, very light cream inside. Just a little bit of a wobble and a proper citrus kick.
What he's going to do with the Earl Grey that will add something extra and distinctive remains to be seen.
You ready?
For dessert, we've got a lemon tart with honeyed mascarpone cream and Earl Grey foam, and it's got a pine nut base.
Thank you. I thought we were promised a lemon tart. I can't see a lemon tart here. There's a lemony thing.
Look, it might taste lovely, but just looking at it, it is the worst that this competition can throw at us. It's a plate of disappointment and micro herbs.
There's one really, really lovely thing on this plate, which is that delicious lemon cream. It really has a beautiful texture and it's just perfectly judged. What you want with it is crisp pastry instead of this slightly tooth-coating, biscuity one.
Without any hint of the pine nut that he champions. And he mentioned Earl Grey. You know, there's as much Earl Grey in this as there were roast potatoes with the main course.
Adam's a great chef who's just scared of being considered boring.
Oh, it's a good lemon tart.
I think that lemon tart is a star. All the other stuff on top, frivolous, not necessary.
That was the scariest thing I think I've ever done in my life. My only major regret is that I burnt my roast potatoes. That was shocking. I couldn't believe I did that.
Okay, Nick, how are we doing?
Good, 2 minutes.
Nick's main course is basically boho seashore chic. Bit of sea bass, bit of fennel, bit of samphire, mussels and vanilla. The seafood vanilla combo, if it's done right, it works really, really well. But it can make the whole dish taste soapy, so that no longer you're having a main course, you've stepped into somebody's bathroom and you're sniffing in their medicine cabinet, and then it's not nice at all.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Thank you. So we've got a fillet of sea bass with a shallot and fennel puree, sea fennel, spinach, mussels and vanilla.
Great.
Thank you.
It's not a bad looking plate full of food. I've got a problem with the way it smells. It's like a very rich vanilla custard.
It's off-putting. There's a strange kind of rubbernecking quality to this dish. You start tasting the mussels with that vanilla cream and you think, really? And it's quite interesting, but it's also quite nasty.
I actually think the vanilla sauce is pretty good, but it's just a little bit overpowering because he's got so much of it on the plate. Everything else, I would say, is great. The sea bass, it's so crisp and the meat of the fish is so tender.
The cooking of the fish is terrific. I do like the shallot and fennel puree. I think what it really needs is some good crisp carbs, or chips as they're called, and less of the vanilla.
I'm really, really happy with that piece of fish, crispy and golden, but got to be so careful when you use vanilla flavours on savoury courses.
This is just too rich, too intense, too heavy, and it doesn't work.
Nick's dessert, muscovado cheesecake, roasted plums, tarragon and candied pine nuts. Well, I'd order that.
You all right?
It's rock solid.
How's it supposed to be served, frozen?
Today it is. Come on, get out.
Roasted plums, if they're beautiful and sweet, would be wonderful. I'm worried about the tarragon. I'm not sure that'll work.
Nearly there, Nick?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
So we've got muscovado cheesecake with anise roasted plums, tarragon anglaise, and candied pine nuts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
This is a nice looking pudding.
Everything on it is tempting me. It looks beautiful.
There is one rule, though, of course, that is broken. Every ingredient on a plate should be there to be eaten, and no one will put a whole star anise in their mouth. There are some good things and some bad things about this. The plums are very nice, quite tart, and I think they really work with the tarragon. I think that's quite a clever touch. The outside of the cheesecake is really nice. You get into the middle, and it's frozen. That's a mistake.
It's not about cheesecake at all. My main issue with it is it doesn't taste quite enough of muscovado sugar. I wanted that cheesecake to really kick with that caramel toasted muscovado flavour.
I'm not so keen on those plums. To me, they are over-tart.
You ate all three of them?
Well, I had to be sure. There are really, really good things here, but there's just a slight lack of balance that's pulling it all off-centre.
Wow, those plums are sour.
Wow, it's a really smooth cheesecake and a really nice classic biscuit base. Shame there's not enough muscovado sugar on there, gosh. And the choice of tarragon would not have been my first choice to put in a custard cream, but I don't find it as unpleasant as the vanilla in the mussels.
The risky elements were the flavour combinations, so I think we've got to wait and see on that. But everything came out more or less as I'd like it to.
You should be serving now, so you're going to be 5 minutes over.
Yep.
Is everything going according to plan?
No, just a little bit behind schedule.
Adam's main course of lamb,
Nice and pink.
Nice and pink.
courgettes, basil, goat's cheese and honey has a very nice simplicity to it. There is a sort of Mediterranean hue about this dish.
Goat's cheese and honey are not things that we tend to partner lamb with in this country, but they both work extremely well with lamb. Sounds interesting.
Come on, Adam. Food's going to get cold.
You're going to be about 10 minutes over, so you better be apologetic to him. Ready?
Yep. Apologies for the lateness. It's a cannon of lamb with courgette flour, goat's cheese, and a basil and courgette puree.
And the jus?
It's a little red wine reduction with some lamb juices through it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life.
This is a really pretty plateful which makes loads and loads of sense. It speaks to me. What it says to me is, eat me now.
This is just heartwarmingly amazing. He's made an absolutely spot-on gravy. He cooks the lamb perfectly. He's able to stuff that courgette with the goat's cheese, and that cheesiness goes perfectly with the lamb. Yummy.
He's got what is the sort of gastronomic equivalent of perfect pitch. Everything is in harmony in a slightly unexpected way.
It's lots of really, really good things put together with very little artifice and done really well.
It's the dish of the day, isn't it?
Oh, Adam is a talented chef.
He can cook, even when he is flustered.
Adam's giving us chocolate orange, hazelnuts and creme fraiche. Who doesn't love a chocolate orange?
I've always had a problem with chocolate orange. There is a nonsense that the orange brings out the flavour of chocolate. It doesn't. It makes chocolate taste like orange.
Maybe today will be the day that changes my mind. I doubt it.
Salted caramel. That is precision personified.
Shaky hands.
That's my take on a chocolate orange, and it's just finished with some creme fraiche and a little slightly salted caramel, sour orange gel as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is beautiful. I don't know whether to eat it or take it home and hang it on my wall. Everything is very, very precise. I do like this strand of sugar. I mean, I know it's just a thing, but it does show that someone gives a damn.
The attention to detail that's gone into it, down to the extent of a single flake of sea salt on the caramel. I'm really impressed.
This tastes as good as it looks. That sour orange gel. It is so perfectly judged.
He's done it again. This really is a lovely combination of tastes.
This is seriously good pudding. My worry about chocolate orange aside, the texture of the chocolate is beautiful, and these gels are just little bits of genius. It's one of the best executed puddings I think I've had on this show.
I really like it. Just needs to hold back on that sharp orange flavour. I think it's too much.
And for me, there's not enough salted caramel. Oh, but we really are nitpicking. It's a damn good dessert.
I have no idea. I don't know how. I don't know what. I don't think I've done enough. See, I can't even get my words out. I tasted everything. It seemed alright, but 10 minutes over. I'm my worst critic. I have to keep things permanently on a high, or I just get really. Well, I don't like it.
Oh, there's some good cooking in here today, Monica. I'm a happy chef. I'll tell you what, that Adam H, he can cook, can't he? He did wobble, and he was 10 minutes late, but he delivered. Adam's roasted lamb loin was absolute perfection.
Everything was seasoned well. And I love lamb when you keep the fat on and it's crispy like that. Good cooking.
And that chocolate mousse was really dark and intense, not too sweet. He's got to go through, hasn't he, Monica?
Adam is through.
The pressure is absolutely crazy. It's still fun, but you're just eager to know what they think. And we're all pondering in our mind what's going on.
Oh, I think Jack has had a bit of a disaster. My word.
We had the fish, which was just falling apart. It had no texture.
And for me, that whole dish was lacking in oomph. As for the rhubarb, we were expecting a rhubarb fest. And what did we get? A few bits of poached rhubarb, sour and not quite cooked enough.
And then that really sickly sweet meringue.
I could have gone in there and just played it simple, but if I've not pushed myself enough, they're not going to keep me in this competition.
I'm afraid it just didn't work for him today, and I think we've got to let him go. That leaves us with Nick and Adam. Both tried to be a little bit different, and it didn't work.
I have to say, though, Nick can cook a good piece of fish. Lovely, golden and crispy, and not overdone.
But the overriding taste of vanilla just didn't work.
That cheesecake was good. Needed more muscovado because it said muscovado, but it was a good cheesecake.
I've done the best I can today. The dishes I've shown are very close to what I'm about. I want the semi-final place more than ever.
Adam's main course, the lamb was cooked very well.
Nice and juicy and pink. He was going to put some crispy potatoes on top, but they burnt. But it's a good dish. I enjoyed eating it, and I know the critics did too.
Now, Adam's dessert. That was a good lemon tart.
What didn't work for me was the Earl Grey froth. That lemon tart was good enough to be on the plate on its own, as it was.
Now that it's over, it's such a weight off my shoulders, but it's spurring me on to just want to just do better and better. I just can't leave now. I really can't.
Well, both of them did cook the key elements of their dish as well. But the vanilla and the foams, is that a step too far?
Both of these chefs, Nick and Adam, they can cook. It's just the little add-ons that we're worried about. We have made a decision. 2 places in the semi-final.
The first chef that is leaving us today is Jack.
This competition does do strange things to you, and it is very hard and tough out there. But I'm still young and I've got a long career ahead of me, and I can use everything from this and gained a lot of experience.
The second chef leaving us today is Nick.
I thought I had one more round in me, if I'm honest. I don't think I could have won it. I thought I could at the start, but there's a couple of really good chefs. I've gone as far as I can, and I'm going away with no regrets.
Semi-finalists. Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done, guys.
I feel incredibly happy. I kind of had it in my head that I was gone. And I don't know, it just buzzing, completely buzzing.
Can't stop smiling, my knees are still shaking. I'm just over the moon. It means crazy amounts for me to be in the semi-finals.
I'm shaking. Think my jaw up and down, I'll fall on the floor.
Words can't describe how much I want to be in the final.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.